Welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, June 24, 2016. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. A call has been made for the local private sector to lead growth and development in this country. Speaking at a financial symposium earlier today hosted by the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Minister of Economic Planning Camila Gonçalves spoke on the issue of growth and development and the role played by the private sector. According to Minister Gonçalves, this country is now at a stage where there is a greater need for the private sector to lead growth and development here at home, regionally and internationally.
Improves the ease of doing business, like doing business. The more business we do, the easier it will be to do business. We want to know what it takes, in your view, for business to grow and to be done better in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and across the region. The governor mentioned how many people are already on the state payroll and how much the state is already paying in pensions. And we are increasing the age of retirement, and we're doing it in a gradual way. We've already moved in that direction. But what I want to talk about is how many people are employed by the private sector and how many new businesses are starting, and how many people they employ. And the state as well has been trying to provide monies to assist startups, particularly in some areas like areas that are either technology businesses or technology assisted areas involving tourism. But tell us what you need to grow, and tell us what we can do to assist you in your entrepreneurial endeavors.
Gonçalves further added that SVG is past the stage of conducting traditional business and should move towards a modern business approach while having an innovative mentality. He added the government is fully supportive of such venture as this country's employment demand is on the rise.
And we want to know what we have to do to facilitate that process. Not to crowd out the space, but to hold your hand, to listen to you. Is there a policy that is lacking? Tell us. Is there a particular piece of infrastructure that is necessary? Tell us. Is there an impediment to your further growth and development? Tell us. And let us work in partnership with one another to increase some of these growth numbers. The rate in which young people are graduating in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, qualified young people, the state cannot absorb all of them. The level of growth that we need as an economy to absorb the young people is in excess of 5%. And we are hoping that you absorb them, that you hire them, that they hire themselves and start new businesses. And we want to have that interaction and that conversation, that growth is not something that is led by the state. It is led by a vibrant and active private sector and entrepreneurial class.
Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the ECCB, Timothy Antoine, says the Caribbean should be concerned with the United Kingdom's vote to exit the European Union. Speaking at a media conference today at the ECCB office at French's House, Antoine outlined that the Eastern Caribbean currency is very strong and has a 98.3% backing ratio as of June 2016, while the statutory law requires a limit of 60% backing. He further explained that it has maintained a strong dollar over the last 40 years.
Our currency, strong, very strong. As of last Friday, the backing of the currency was 98.3%. That's almost 100%. What does that mean? For every $1 in circulation, we have 98.3 cents in foreign reserves. We almost have 100% backing of our currency. That's what makes us so strong. What does the law require? The law requires 60% backing. We're at almost 100. And so we're very strong, and the reality is that notwithstanding the ups and downs of the recent years, recession and all, we've been able to maintain a strong dollar. I think most of you know that for the last 40 years, we've had the same parity, 1 US, 2.7 1 EC is equal to 2.7 US. 1 US is equal to 2.7 EC, sorry. 1 US is equal to 2.7 EC for the last 40 years. And that really is something that many of our neighbors cannot boast of. And that's something we should never take for granted. It's a credit to us having been able to come together and have one central bank. And it's a credit to our people and our leaders that we've been able to achieve that as small states.
Governor Antoine, however, described the move by the UK as having a seismic shift which can affect grants to the Caribbean. He also stated that this can cause a recession in the United Kingdom.
Someone termed it a seismic shift in the decision made by the United Kingdom to exit the European Union. A lot of this now creates a sort of uncertainty for what will happen. Now, the IMF and others have projected that the UK could go back into recession as early as next year. Obviously, we're very concerned because the UK is an important source market for us in terms of tourism, and that could affect us. The withdrawal of the UK from the EU over time will also possibly affect EU aid grants to our region. Now, of course, the UK is not leaving immediately. There's at least 2 years plus before they actually move, so that doesn't change overnight.
The ECCB governor also highlighted that the UK-EU exit can also affect tourism, trade and remittances.
But clearly, any downturn in the UK economy can have a potential adverse impact on the Caribbean economies, especially with respect to tourism and to some extent trade and remittances. I think it's also important to recognize that the single biggest concern that all of us have, central bank governors, financial institutions, is uncertainty. Because nobody really knows what we know what could happen, but we're not sure what will happen because it depends on how the negotiations take place, how fast they exit, how does the global economy respond. But uncertainty is never a good thing. It undermines confidence. So obviously we're very concerned about that.
Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Deborah Charles, commended students, teachers and parents for their efforts at ensuring that no school fell below the 50% pass rate in this year's Caribbean Primary Exit Examination, the CPEA. During her congratulatory remarks in Parliament on Thursday, Charles said this is the first time that 20 schools had a 100% pass rate. She says this progress has been consistent over the past 3 years.
The Ministry of Education is pleased because for the very first time in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, our students have recorded an 83.87% pass at the external exam. I want to congratulate also the 20 schools who successfully attained 100% passes at this examination. I believe it's the first time in the history of St. Vincent that 20 schools would have attained this feat. It is remarkable also, Mr. Speaker, that of the 10 students that placed in the 10 students that came to the top of the common entrance, 70% of these students were boys.
Minister of Education Jimmy Prince also praised the work of all and said he was particularly pleased with the male students who were in the top positions.
As you've been talking about the marginalization of boys, of males within the school system and in academic life. This year we are pleased that there has been a turnaround, or there is the semblance of the beginning of a turnaround. Our boys must be commended for taking the top 4 places. They performed exceptionally well. Luke Wilson, St. Mary's RFC School. Matthew Washington, Windsor, that's the 2nd place. Enrico De Beek of Canaan Government School took the 3rd place. And Mr. Speaker, I crave your indulgence at the risk of being invidious. That's the school I went to. The Canaan Government School, and I congratulate them. And they, of course, are in the Marico Valley. And Ty Ballantyne of Kingstown Preparatory School taking the 4th position. The males recording a 78.11 percentage pass, up from 73.31 percentage pass last year. And there is some improvement here, and we hope that we continue on this trajectory going forward.
A number of first-year art students at the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College has made their contribution to the development of the Argyle International Airport, the AIA. A handing over ceremony today commemorated the completion of a car park mural which the art students of 2E Mural Arts Urban Space Enhancement completed in less than 2 months, with the actual painting of the mural completed in under 3 weeks. Lecturer at the college, Letitia Jack, explained that the project was offered to the students by the IDC's management in late May, but she said the students were not deterred by the challenge with which they were presented.
They were really excited to start their research, and their investigation have impacted the selection for the final design and the composition that we now see at the front of the terminal. Some of the selections that you would see on the wall include the once historical presence of the Kalinago people who were once here on the site. The students felt that it was really important to integrate this historical fact within the wall to remind us of what was here before. They also included some heritage sites, some popular famous sites, with hopes to stimulate not only the visitors but locals alike to visit these sites and to find out a little bit more about the heritage of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Meantime, Chief Executive Officer of the IADC, Dr. Rudy Matthias, expressed much gratitude for the contribution of the mural and the hard work which went into it.
Over the period that they have been working here, it was hard work. You have been working in sun and rain and long hours. So we want to thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts. We know that, as we have been saying here at Argyle, building this airport has been a labor of love. And you have labored here in love too. And I am sure that there must be a lot of pride in your hearts today, that you have had a chance and you have taken it with your both hands and created something here that I trust will be a project that lasts for a very long time.
The students produced the mural using the theme, A Sense of Place. A student from the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Girls High School, Otisha Nichols, came in second place in the senior division in this year's 2016 Florida Caribbean Cruise Association poster competition. As a consolation prize, Nichols and her school will both receive a check of US $1,500 from the FCCA. Using comic strips to highlight how persons can take different items from around their homes and environments, such as plastics, old tattered clothing, bottles and tires, in a creative way to reuse and recycle, Nichols' poster depicted the ways in which persons can reuse, recycle and renew the Caribbean, which are the principles the Ministry of Tourism, Sports and Culture and the FCCA wish to promote and encourage Vincentians to adopt in order to create a more sustainable tourism industry. According to reports from the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association, this year's poster competition attracted entries from 12 nations. In the senior division, Grenada and St. Martin placed first and third, respectively. Celebrating the 18th anniversary of Praise FM, manager Errol Daniel, who is also a pastor, expressed gratitude to all the supporters of the radio station over the years. He says the main inspiration for creating the station was merely to have independence as his passion for the gospel, reflected on the day Praise FM was established and how far it has come.
I don't think there's any other message that is stronger than the gospel message. Having been in the ministry before, so I decided to start the station. The reaction at that time was positive and negative. People applauded and some said it never happened. But that was 18 years ago, and it is here. And it is here to stay by the grace of God.
Daniel says persons locally, regionally and internationally have called in on the station to show their appreciation on this special day, and that they will continue to spread the gospel through the airwaves and offering quality music.
So we continue to reach out with the message, the only message I believe that can bring peace to this troubled world, the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's why we name it a gospel radio station. It's full-time gospel.
Welcome back and welcome to Carnival Beat. Carnival revelers are in for a treat as today, Friday, 24th June 2016, signals the official 10-day countdown to the hottest carnival in the Caribbean. SVG-TV's Nikita Tony gives us a preview of the activities persons will be engaged in over the next 10 days.
Wait is finally over, as today, Friday, June 24th, marks the official start of Vincy Mas 2016. This year's celebrations begins with the Calypso Monarch semi-finals, dubbed Fantastic Friday, at the Victoria Park, which will see 22 Calypsonians taking the stage later tonight. Junior masqueraders will take over Carnival City on Saturday, June 25th, as reigning Junior Band of the Year Blondie Birds and Friends seeks to hold on to their Junior Carnival title. Then on Sunday 26th at 2:30 p.m., the Junior Pan Fest kicks off at the Victoria Park. On Tuesday, June 28th, patrons are invited to witness both the Junior Calypso and Soca Monarch competitions at the Victoria Park, followed by the highly anticipated Steel and Glitter event on the night of Thursday, June 30th. 31 years of exquisite pageantry will be celebrated at the staging of Miss Caraval 2016 on Carnival Friday, July 1st, after which the Victoria Park will then turn into an inferno of energetic performances, with the Raga Soca and Soca Monarch titles up for grabs on Saturday, July 2nd. Calypso fans will then head back to Carnival City on Sunday night for the Marche Gras, as 10 Calypsonians will come up against the man Zangi for the Calypso crown. Next on the agenda is the Juve and Evening Street Party on Monday, July 4th. The streets of Kingston will transform into a sea of many colors as masqueraders from 13 mass bands partake in the Mardi Gras proceedings, which signals the end of Vincy Mas 2016. Persons can expect to be wowed by exciting showcases of Calypso, Mass, Pan, and not forgetting Soca, as they celebrate 10 days of fun in the Vincy Sun. Vincy Mas 2016, the hottest carnival. Reporting for Carnival Beat, I am Nikita Tony.
Praising the artistry of the 20 Calypsonians selected to participate in the National Calypso semi-finals this evening, Minister of Culture Cecil Mackey is encouraging persons to attend tonight's event at the Victoria Park. Speaking in Parliament on Thursday, the Culture Minister outlined that there was a 6.8% increase in arrivals in the first quarter of this year, advised persons to encourage visitors to participate in the festivities.
We did well in 2015, and for the first quarter of 2016, we are very encouraged with the several rural carnivals throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines, all successfully hosted. And of course, tomorrow, Friday, I want to invite everyone to get to Victoria Park. Fantastic Friday, 22 outstanding calypsos from 22 great calypsonians. And of course, the rest of the activities will follow for the last week in July and the last week in June, first week in July. So St. Vincent and the Grenadines, support Vincy Mas so that we can keep it as the hottest carnival in the Caribbean.
Minister for Work Senator Julian Francis also called on persons to support the event tonight and congratulated newly crowned Miss SVG 2016, who was a former contestant in their ruling Unity Labour Party beauty pageant.
In extending congratulations to the 22 persons who have been selected for the semi-finals. I wish them individually and well. I have my favorite. Yeah, man. I go and support him at every tent, but I congratulate all of them. And Mr. Speaker, I would love to extend congratulations to Nikiana Williams for having won Miss SVG. I have to do it, Mr. Speaker, because I believe the country knows that the Unity Labour Party does have a nursery for producing candidates, delegates for the Miss SVG show. When we do our Miss Unity Youths, there are quite a few contestants who enter and are trained by us and enter. Nikiana was one of them.
There is no hard feelings between the Carnival Development Corporation and the 2015 National Soca and Raga Soca Monarch Gamal Skinny Fabulous Doyle. This was made clear by CEO of the CDC Ashford Wood today in a reference to a newspaper article which suggested that Doyle chose to perform at the show in Barbados rather than the National Soca Monarch competition. The CDC CEO explained to SVG-TV News that this is not the case, as Doyle had already been contracted to perform elsewhere on the night of the national competition and tried his best to get out of the contractual arrangement to perform at the Soca Monarch competition as a feature artist, but was unsuccessful in doing so.
And I would like to clarify and also to elaborate on a few things. Let me repeat. When I spoke to him, he indicated to me that he had already been contracted to perform at another event. I know that he made efforts to get out of that contractual arrangement, but was unsuccessful. It therefore meant that he had to honor his commitment.
Wood added that whilst Doyle would not be defending his title in the two competitions, he will be a guest performer at other shows for Vincy Mas 2016.
Let's remember that at the end of Vincy Mas 2015, he made a statement that come 2016, he will not be competing. However, the CDC has been in touch with him, and he would be definitely making appearances at Vincy Mas 2016. In fact, he would be the featured artist at the Junior Calypso competition scheduled for Tuesday, June 28th, and the Steel and Glitter show, which is scheduled for Thursday, June 30th. So, as we can see, he would definitely be involved in Vincy Mas 2016.